Yo, what's up, everybody? It's your boy JP Vlogs, man, and this is something I've been planning for a long time. I am here to start my first podcast, and my first guest, you ain't gonna believe it, but you might, because I know him, you know him. His name is Christopher Rios, aka three-time King of OSW, Chris Rios.
What's up, bro?
What's happening, baby?
How you been, dog?
Good, brother. How you been, bro?
Yeah, bro. We chilling. We in the
chilling.
house. You know what I'm saying? We got the little
Yeah.
windy dog running around.
We got the windy dog.
Yeah.
How old is she now?
Shoot. Coming on 3.
3 years old.
2.5. Coming
She
on
getting
3 now.
old.
Yeah. She a little middle-aged weenie now, whatever that is in human years.
Right? For real.
I'm
She
glad
about 21.
I'm glad she chilling now.
Yeah, for real.
As you knew, she was just running around. So yeah, we in here, bro.
We up
Thanks
in
for
here,
having
bro.
me.
Good to see you,
Good to
dog.
see you
Good
too,
to
bro.
see you. It's been a minute because you've been doing a lot of things lately.
Yeah.
But
Mm-hmm.
we gonna get into that later.
Yeah.
First of all, man, for the people who don't know, this is Christopher Rios, 3 times King of OSW. You already heard it in the intro. But for the people who don't know you, like, tell them who you are. What do you drive? What do you know?
My name's Chris Rios. My friends call me Crizzy.
Mm-hmm.
I drive a HR 350Z. I also am currently building a competition car, another 350Z with a V8 in it. Big guess, wild guess. JP's an active part in that as well. So we have a few things going, but majorly I'm known for just driving a Z and shredding and driving it to its definite fullest extent, in my opinion.
Yeah.
So,
yeah, because you be scaring me most of the time, to be honest.
I'll be scaring myself, to be honest. So, yeah.
So close to the wall, door to door. I'm like, we crashing.
Yeah.
Damn.
Yeah. Yeah. It happens sometimes, but if you ain't pushing the limits, you're never gonna find them.
True. So how did you get into drifting? Like what? Well, let's start with like your first cars. Like, have you always been into cars?
Yeah, relatively speaking. My first ever car was the first ever car that I actually started working on and get my feet wet was actually the white Kia that you know of.
Oh, yeah.
For people that don't know, JP and I go way back.
Way back.
We know each other.
What was it, 63?
Yeah, at least 63, 64.
Yeah.
But we go way back. We know each other personally very well. But regardless, yeah. So started off with the white Kia, and I did the Optima.
Right?
Yep, the Kia Optima.
Was it a hybrid?
No, it was.
I don't know why I thought you got a hybrid.
I wanted a hybrid, to be honest, for the gas.
I think that's what it was.
But no, it was the 2.0 turbo. So I got my feet wet with that. I threw like lowering springs on it and some wheels and did some other tasteful mods that I could do at home that I didn't really know what I was doing anyway.
Yeah, true.
But yeah, that got my feet wet, majorly from my brother, actually, because I was, raised in a household.
Hey, shout out, bro.
Shout out my big bro.
Shout out, big bro.
And I was raised in just a household of nothing too deep into cars, but we like cars. We like our cars clean and shiny, and we liked our Hondas. So Kia was the first car, and then as soon as I moved down here to Florida when I was 18, I had bought the Z that I have now, the HR, and
so you ended up selling the Optima, or like you traded it in, or what the fuck? Like what happened?
I traded the Optima in for the 1500.
Oh
no, I'm wrong. I traded the Optima for the Z06.
Oh, that's a whole nother thing.
That's a whole other story.
Would you go from an Optima to a Z06?
Yeah.
You in there.
Yeah.
That's all I got to say.
I definitely made an irresponsible decision at the ripe age of 19 or 20, and I spent basically my monthly paycheck on that car payment. So, and that was when I was working at Lexus with you.
Yep.
And
when we first met,
all I wanted was a fast car at that time, and I didn't really know that. I didn't know what I was getting myself into with that car. But
Yeah.
essentially, yeah. I mean, I went from the Optima to
That
the
was a
Z.
lot
To
of
the
car, bro.
It was a lot of
Because I'm
car.
gonna tell you something. At 19, bro, I had a fucking 87 hatchback Accord 5-speed
I was clean.
that didn't have 5-speed. Kept putting
Yeah.
brake fluid in it.
Mhm.
IAC valve.
Yep.
I couldn't imagine driving the fucking
Yeah.
Z06.
It was a
I would have
privilege.
killed myself.
Yeah. Well, that's why I had to get rid of it.
Yeah.
Is because I had to make the responsible decision of the fact that I knew that one day if I didn't get rid of the car, I probably would have killed myself because I like street racing too much. And ironically, I sold the car. Another factor, I sold the car because I kind of lost interest in it because
Yeah.
it was built to essentially its fullest extent without
Yeah.
doing crazy power adders like nitrous or turbo or whatever.
Yeah.
It was just a
Was that a
standard
cam or something?
heads cam LS7, and it dynoed I think right around like 630 or so. So it was a lot of car
I
for.
remember because I had an RX 300 at the time, and I would see you on the highway, and you'd just be like,
Yep.
boom!
Yep, second to third, and I was gone. But
That car was wild.
yeah, that was a really, really fun car. The car taught me a lot, but essentially I had gotten rid of that car and gotten my like 2016 1500 Ram, the gray one.
Yeah.
And the reasoning behind that is, number one, I was going to kill myself in that car. Number two, I wanted to save money on the damn monthly payment.
Yeah.
And number three, I didn't find street racing or just going in a straight line as fun as drifting. So I basically
well, like, take me back to where you first like found out like what drifting was, and like what did you think about it like the first time you seen drifting?
I didn't really even know what to think, to be honest, because
Yeah.
I didn't even know like what the hell they were doing. I was like,
Was you have like that NASCAR mentality?
Yeah.
Oh, all they do is burning tires. We used to do that to dirt track.
Exactly. And to be honest, I really wasn't into drifting at all, relatively speaking. I was into motorsports, but I didn't really have a deep interest into drifting. And so when I moved down here, I had bought the 350 that I have now, and I found a great deal on Craigslist. Ironically, it was a dude out in Tampa. He was getting rid of it. I bought the car, I think, for close to like $7,000 with 90,000 miles, which is obviously unheard of nowadays. So
nowadays.
Yeah, nowadays, I mean, if I were to take that same car that I had and sell it today, it'd probably be a $15,000 car all day.
Oh,
because just the way it was so
right
clean.
now. Yeah, that car was minty.
It wasn't touched. It was completely unmolested, and it was owned by
I used to take pictures of that bitch all the time to see in the parking lot.
Yeah, I try to find old pictures of it now, but they're non-existent.
That's just how it goes.
Yeah.
Life goes on.
Yeah. So yeah, I had bought that car and I brought it home, and funny enough, my neighbor that lived across the street at the time, Dave, or P, we call him P, he had rode his bike over, and he was into drifting at the time. He was relatively the same age. He had like a really clean white G with some Workmeisters on it or something like that.
He had a G35 coupe?
G35 sedan, a white G35 sedan with work equips, not Meisters. And I had always strolled by, but I never talked to him. And then one day he came over because I was looking at the Z, and I wanted a Z because I had moved down to Florida, and I knew that I could now own a rear-wheel drive car, because in New York, you could obviously own the snow. You needed to basically prepare for the seasons. So I moved down to Florida, bought the Z. He rode his bike over, and he's like, so like, what do you plan to do with this thing? I'm like, to be honest, I don't really know. I'm like, I got a Z because I know VQs are good, because my brother at the time had a Maxima, I think like a 6th or 7th gen, and those came with like the DEs, and I rode in that, and I was like, this is a pretty fun little car.
Yeah.
And
chill, baby.
She's obsessive. But yeah, so I bought the 350. He rode over, and he was like, what do you plan to do with the car? And I was like, to be honest, I really don't know. He's like, you should try drifting it. And I'm like, drifting? He's like, yeah, you ever heard of the compound? I'm like, no. I'm like, what the hell is a compound? And he dropped the pin. He texted me. He was like, this is the compound. And then I started doing some research, and lo and behold, it's a undeveloped development, and it's all paved. And I'm like, well, shit. I'm like, I'm gonna take the car out there and do what he calls drifting. So I literally looked up YouTube videos of drifting, and at the time I didn't know you needed a welded diff. I didn't know what a handbrake was. I didn't even know what the hell an
so the
angle
Z
kit
that you
was.
got is the HRZ. But
Mhm.
like, does it have LSD? Or no?
It's a base, just a base Z.
Okay, so it was a base
Yeah.
Z HR
With
because
open
of
diff.
the year. Okay, with
Yep,
open diff. Damn.
So and honestly, that's probably the best car you can start with as a base, because you don't have the electronics, you don't have like all the little add-ons that you do with a touring or whatever the case is.
Oh, yeah,
so I went out there and I did my first ever donut in an open diff 350Z, and I thought I was shredding. I thought I was the next FD champion. I was like, that's it. My career's I chose my career, and I'm going face first into this type shit. But yeah, I did my first ever donuts in that 350Z with an open diff, and I recorded it by myself, and I went out to the compound by myself, and I just kind of started sliding around. And at the end of the day, I texted P, and I was like, okay, what's the next step? I was like, I think I like this stuff.
Yeah.
So he essentially started me off, and he got my diff welded. He helped me take the diff out of my car for the first time. He helped. I didn't know what the hell I was doing. I was like, my axles were dragging on the ground because the diff was out of the car. I thought I broke my car. I'm like, I don't even know how to put this thing back together.
Yeah.
I'm like, I don't know what the hell I'm doing. And he's like, don't worry. He's like, we'll get it put back together. So he welded the diff. I threw it back in the car, and to be honest, it's been history ever since.
Yeah.
So I welded the diff and started sliding it around, and it's been history.
Yeah.
So
for real. So with that being said, like, what excites you most about drifting?
That's a hard question, because there's a lot of factors that make it exciting.
Yeah.
But
I mean, you can expand on it.
Yeah, I think to me the most exciting part is probably the spectators and the results from what you're putting in, because in my opinion,
so like people like up in the stands watching you, like, oh shit, like that was cool.
I have a
Is that something that you like think about, like when you're driving?
No. I have a very, very different opinion than a lot of people, in my opinion, when it comes to like drifting and stuff. I think drifting is a spectator sport as much as it's a driver sport.
Yeah.
Like it's
because I've heard it compared, and earlier in the day people would be like, oh, it's like figure skating, and then I can't remember, I was listening to something, but he was like, no, it's more like the Blue Angels.
Yeah, that's Reese Martin. Reese Martin. Yeah. I watched that podcast.
Okay. Yep.
And
I seen that. Shout out Reese.
Yeah, shout out Reese. I agree with him wholeheartedly on that. It's definitely not
because it's so much aggression.
Yeah.
And it's something cool to see.
Yeah. It's drifting's a spectator sport. It's one of the, if not the only, judged motorsport. I could be wrong, but it's one of the only judged motorsports in existence right now, and I think that is what sets it apart from every other motorsport all in itself. So adding the factors of being inches away from somebody's door and basically pure chaos, but also pure bliss at the same time.
Exactly.
That sets it apart from, in my opinion, a lot of other motorsports. Grip driving is really fun, but drifting's a whole different ball.
Yeah, because it's so many different variables. Like you have to really count on that lead
Mm-hmm.
person, and I'm sure it's the same way in racing and stuff like that. But it's more of an etiquette, and with drifting, like things just happen.
Yeah. It's one of those things. I mean, with a lot of other motorsports, but it's one of those things where you're inches away from flipping your car, like we saw this year with James Dean. I mean, you're inch
collarbone.
Yeah. And to be honest, it's not like you're hauling ass. You're not going 60, 70 miles an hour. I mean, most of the time you're going 30, 40 miles an hour, but I mean, at the same time, you're trying to control an uncontrolled car while also adding grip and adding angle and adding a lot of other factors. Do you want to get this bitch out of here?
No.
Is she annoying?
No, leave her in here.
Okay.
That's my goddaughter.
Relax.
Yeah, sit down.
Settle down.
I love you.
Settle down.
We love the puppies. We got puppies. I got a big fat puppy out there.
We're just trying to get her
real.
Relaxed.
For real. So that's what. But like, when you're driving, like, what excites you most? Like, when you're driving, what do you think? Like, oh, like,
charging
damn,
hard.
I'm real close. Like,
charging hard.
Just charging hard.
That's my favorite part of drifting is.
Yeah, because I remember I told you, because we don't get to the King of OSW thing, but I was like, hey, I've been watching him, like, just go easy, but then like you'll catch him and you'll ride his door the whole way, and you was like, okay, all right, bet. Soon as you took off, it was right on his door. I turned around. I said, "Oh my god!"
Yeah,
we just lost.
I don't know,
but the instincts take over.
Yeah, it's the
is
instincts.
that what like is that exciting?
It's tunnel vision. I think is the best way to describe it. It's like it's one of those things where you don't really know the results until after the run. Per se, in my opinion, it's like, to me, it's like a flash.
Like, it just it happens, and you're like, okay, I think I did, but you don't really know.
Yeah. But in all honesty, a huge factor that actually helped me concentrate and focus was the sim, because the sim adds just a factor of not worrying per se about wrecking your car, because I think that's the biggest concern everybody has when it comes to drifting is,
I mean, it's something we can get into later too, but like it's so much money. People don't even realize just to take a stock 350Z, like, I mean, tires, fuel, you got to have some spare parts if something breaks. Like it's so many factors, just even like on a lower level, and like you've been leveling up and it just gets more expensive. But yeah, I mean, it's not easy.
No, it's definitely not. But when it comes to driving, I mean, my favorite part is definitely the following. It's definitely always pushing the limits. It's definitely always trying. To me, it's an experiment because I'm always trying something new. I'm always trying different, techniques and throttle inputs and handbrake here, less handbrake there, letting the car float there. So, like I said about the sim, it's like you can focus on your inputs, and also, the world slows down, in my opinion, when it comes to that stuff. So at the same time, that translates to real life, and that's what's helped me a ton as well. Focus on being patient instead of transitioning early, because once you transition early, you end up being on the inside instead of being in the right zone per se, or on the front fender instead of the door. So
exactly.
There's a ton
That's hard to recover from.
Yeah, it is. And left foot braking, and transition timing, and leading and hitting the right zones, and there's so many factors when it comes to just keeping a car in drift that I think a lot of people don't expect.
They don't. And I'm gonna tell you one thing, because I've tried drifting a couple times.
Yeah, I mean, I think we're seeing it on the TV right behind it.
Oh.
Perfect timing. Perfect timing.
That's hilarious.
Perfect timing.
It's not as easy as you would expect.
No.
Me, but like me, let me rip off me for a little bit.
Yeah.
I went to my first Formula Drift event in 2005. How old were you?
2005, I was 7. I was 7 years old in 2005.
Bro, I was watching King Gucci slide a Mustang back then.
Yeah,
bro.
I didn't even know who
there was. Look, I promise you, the attendance couldn't have been more than 680 people.
FD Atlanta, right?
Yeah, FD Atlanta. That's when I used to live up there.
Iconic track.
I know, like, what goes into drifting, because I study it all the time. But like driving your car, that's just a whole different thing.
Yeah,
it's a whole different thing. It's like I feel like I know what I need to do, but it's like seeing it and like doing it is a whole different thing.
Yeah, no,
whole different thing.
100%. My biggest head start in the whole scene was like when I first started driving. I didn't do anything to the car. Number one, because I didn't want to, and number two, I couldn't freaking afford it. So I spent my paycheck on welding the diff, and then that's literally all I could afford. So I made the best of what I had, and I think that was honestly the best route I could have gone. And you were there for basically almost the beginning of it, you know, because
pretty much.
you were around when
because you invited me to the compound. He's like, yeah, I'm meeting my homie Camo out there. I was like,
yeah,
okay, all
yeah,
right,
yeah.
come check it out.
Yeah,
That's
still
on the
had
YouTube channel, JP Vlog.
it's on the YouTube channel. So
Also,
check
me
it out.
crashing his car, which is what we was talking about.
You'll see it in a few seconds here on the video. But yeah, I mean, I started out with the car like super basic and minimal mods, and I think that's the start that everybody should have, in my opinion. I think nowadays it's so, you know, readily available, a simple bolt-on $200 angle kit, you know, and I deter people away from that stuff when they ask me when they want to get into drifting, because I'm like, the way I learned is
okay. So hold on. I gotta stop you, player, because like we getting up. We gonna get to that.
okay.
We definitely gonna get to
I know we jumping around.
Yeah.
I'm not good at
jump around a
holding
little
a
bit. Like that's
conversation.
normal. Like
I'm
we
not
don't
good at
jump
holding
around
a
when you're having a
conversation.
conversation. You know what I'm saying?
I just want to give everybody the right information and all the information.
Yeah.
I'm a big talker.
What's right to you?
Yeah.
It's still your own path, but we're gonna talk about that later.
My path, but your podcast.
So yeah. So with that being said, like all the excitement and all the things that go into, you know, just basically getting to an event and just doing like the basics. With you winning 3 King of OSWs, like where does it go from here? Like how does it feel to do that?
Well, I mean, I think it's hard to say, bro.
Yeah,
it's hard to say, because
does it feel like it didn't happen, or it's just like next?
It definitely feels like it happened. I think the one thing that a lot of people have to do, and at least I try to focus on, is absorbing it, taking it in. Right. Yeah. Like I think the night that I won my third crown was like, I took you aside and I was like, bro, take this in. Take this in, because this is dope. So around, I was like, again, bro, for the third time. And I think King of OSW is also turning into a bigger thing than what it was. I think, you know, like even the first time that I won, or the first time I even tried King of OSW, it was just like, you know, a friendly little competition that OSW wanted to have. But, you know, now that they're raising the stakes, that's going to bring more serious drivers. And I think that OSW is definitely doing the right thing. But at the same time, I think, you know, there comes a time and a place where, you know, maybe they start deciding if they want to take it a little serious, maybe investing in, you know, a little bit bigger of a track. I'm sure, as they have been in talks. But in reference to your question, where it goes from here, I mean, you have a decision to make. You can stay grassroots, and you can, you know, just have your fun. And I think that's 90% of it. But for me, when it comes to a hobby, or when it comes to something I'm investing a lot of my time and a lot of my money and a lot of my effort in, I'm going to push it the furthest I humanly possibly can, before I give up on it, or before I sit back, if that makes sense. Because as we know, we come from an athlete, you know, background. Yeah, true. So we're always going to push. We're always going to try our hardest, and, you know, for lack of better terms, put all my eggs in one basket. You know, so I'm definitely gonna go the hardest I can, and I'm very, very, very blessed and thankful for the people that I've surrounded myself with to help me go to the next level. Because I mean, it definitely wouldn't be possible, you know, just myself. You know,
just by yourself.
No, it's impossible. It's a team sport at the end of the day. So the people that have been willing to invest their time and money and effort into me, I mean, Njuku Racing, Billy Mitchell Racing, Chase Bays, Rise Fab Shop, Charge Hard. I mean, I have so many people on board this year that it's like if I told myself 2 years ago that I would have these types of companies like under my name now, I would think that you're obviously lying.
That's wild, man.
Yeah.
And I seen they just posted you too. Like that's that's so cool.
Like, bro, like I look at Njuku.
That's so cool. I used to surf their website back in like, I don't know, 2013 or something, bro.
Yeah. I
look wild.
I look at Njuku like the United States Up Garage. You know, as I'm sure as a lot of people a lot of people have like their other opinions of other shops, but for us in Florida, like And Juku's the hub, bro. Like and Juku's the OG.
If you need something, like they got it.
Yeah, and Juku's been around since.
Or they gonna get it.
Yeah, and Juku's been around since '98.
Yeah.
So they've been your sole salesman for
before Fast and the Furious. Bruh.
Yeah, they've been your sole salesman
was providing
for all your 240 parts, for all your Nissan parts. They're a Nissan specialty.
Back then, definitely big Honda game.
Yeah, big Honda game too. So that's how I look at it in Juku, and just for me to even be posted on their Instagram, just for them to even like my post, like to me is like, you know, it's crazy to me.
So with that being said,
and not just in Juku, by the way, it's everybody else, but in Juku specifically.
Yeah. I mean, everybody plays their part.
Yeah.
You know, the ones that know.
Yeah.
But with that being said, like, so you got these sponsors now.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you got some people that are helping you out. What, like, what are the future plans? Like, what events are you hitting? You know, what are you doing with this? Are you
you know, what I'm doing is rebuilding my whole damn car. First of all, I'm sure as you know, as everybody else knows, I've made a huge push, and
I'll put his Instagram right here. Y'all definitely need to go check, bro. My content versus your content. We ain't gonna get into that.
I'm trying to step it up.
We ain't gonna get into that, bro.
I'm trying to step it up, but no, I appreciate
it's clean.
it. I appreciate it.
Go check him out, man.
But yeah, I mean, like, first of all, I'm making like a huge aggressive push on the car. I'm not playing around anymore, relatively speaking, and I want to make the car like a carbon copy of what I want my comp car to be. So, you know, I want to be able to set the car up and test it out and mess with it and find out what works. And, you know, what comes of that is obviously investing a lot of time and effort. So there's WiseFab on the car now. The quarters are cut out. I'm doing over fenders. You know, I'm upgrading the cooling system. I'm doing manual brakes. I'm throwing nitrous on the car. And so that's all in an effort to
hold on.
Yeah. And
like he just brushed over all that. Yeah. So I'm putting nitrous on the car and, you know, so don't make, like, you know, I'm just doing like 150 shot. Like talk about like,
it's nothing serious
because like you've made like WiseFab. You know, I know you've had a previous company before and it was great.
Yeah.
But the car was beat up. So, and you decided
it was just time. It's just time.
Just try, you know, all new everything. And figure it out.
I think I earned my stripes when it came to that last iteration of the car. So that's why I upgraded to WiseFab, obviously. But WiseFab's all in itself just a freaking game changer. But a lot of these upgrades are an effort to make a huge push this season. So I'm hitting the Beast Coast Drift Series. I'm hitting all the OSW events I obviously can just for the seat time preference. We're hitting Grid Life.
Yeah.
We're hitting Hyperfest.
You know we're hitting. Oh yeah.
We're hitting
Hyperfest, bro. We still going to Hyperfest?
Patriot course. Yeah, I'm hitting Hyperfest for sure.
Yeah, we gotta go. We gotta go.
And then I mean, there's probably a few events that I'm missing, but this is like a huge outreach year for me. It's a huge like.
I mean, because the car is totally revamped. Man.
It's revamped.
Like you've done. I mean, the car's been good. Obviously, it's won King of OSW twice. Alex's car. Shout out Alex. Shout out Alex for the loaner car for that for the 3-time.
Yep, from the most recent crown.
So I mean, the car is coming back better than what it's ever been.
This is definitely probably
I feel like
the best iteration.
Because like a lot, I've been telling you to go WiseFab for a long time.
Yeah, a lot of people have.
I mean, GK Tech, FDF, WiseFab. I'm sure there's other companies, but those are like the top 3 dogs. They all make great stuff.
No, WiseFab's the best, in my opinion.
Yeah. Well, I didn't want to say it.
No, I steal the thunder from everybody else.
You said that. You know, let us know what you think in the comments.
No, I don't say that wholeheartedly with my chest because I wouldn't be here without FDF for sure. I wouldn't have been able to get the car to where I want it.
When you first got that V1?
Yeah, V1, I was like,
V1,
damn.
that boy was like,
backies,
bro, up in New York, bro. Jersey.
V1 FDF definitely was and is probably the best angle kit for a 350Z. I had a bunch of problems with V2, so I threw that away. And yeah, we're on WiseFab now. And I definitely haven't had a chance to drive with like FDF Mega Mantis or even the GK Tech.
Well, besides
big super lock kit. Besides Alex's car,
the 370, different car.
Yeah, different car, a little bit different geometry.
And you won.
Yeah, he had the Mega Mantis, and I won.
But you
King
won
Plus
on
W.
V1 both times with that. So I mean, I guess you could chop it up as even.
Yeah. But it's just like when it comes to WiseFab specifically, you feel like how refined the kit is just by installation. I mean, an angle kit that comes with an alignment already.
Yeah, that was wild. Pulling it out of the box and saying it's just put it on.
Yeah, just throw it on.
You already got a baseline.
Yeah, just tow and go essentially. And it was the alignment is still very, very close to what it came to out of the box. When we threw it on the Enjuku alignment rack, we just changed some things around with some camber and some toe. We really didn't mess with caster a ton because I wanted to feel what it was like to actually have a car with low caster. Being able to
you like that because even in the game in car X, he'd be like, hey, man, you need to lower your caster, lower your caster. It's like, I don't like the way that feels, bro.
I hate the wheel getting ripped out of my hands. I don't like an unpredictable car. And that's all driver preference. Some people love high caster cars. So that's just...
Yeah, there's some dudes that are like way high, like 9 degrees, bro.
Like, literally.
And there's people that's running 4.
It's all dependent on your throttle input, the characteristics of the car, how gripped up you are. So there's a lot of factors that even come up to even setting an alignment up with the car. But all in all, I mean, just like this is the best iteration the car has ever been, and super excited to drive this season. I don't think I've ever been this hungry. And obviously,
trust me, I've noticed.
I think,
and I love it. I got you.
Yeah, I mean,
Let's go.
I think a lot of that comes also from the fact that now I have expectations. So I have literal obligations to hit events now. I have to post on social media. Not that that's a bad thing at all. I actually love it because my next favorite thing is networking and getting to know people. So
it's fun meeting new people, man.
Oh yeah,
100%. I love meeting new people, bro.
100%.
Y'all see us at the track, bro? Just run up.
Yeah, just run up. And
I'll give you a big old hug. Oh yeah.
Don't swing.
Hey, for real, you might get a back swing from my ass, bro.
Wow. Long ass arms.
But then I'll pick you up and we'll chill.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, I'm super excited for this season.
That Hyperfest, man, I'm really interested in the Hyperfest. We did the Grid Life thing last year, and it was definitely a great time.
Hyperfest is game changer,
Love
bro.
Grid Life. But from what I was seeing with you, like, man, Hyperfest looks like a whole different vibe. You stayed in a hotel on the track?
Yeah. Yep. Shout out to Enjuku Racing. Shout out to Brandon McDowell, the big OG. Big OG.
Triple OG.
The freaking raging Cajun, bro.
Yeah. Chris Stapleton hit it.
Yeah. A little side tangent about McDowell and just my appreciation for him all in itself. I mean, like last year he's
one of the best. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. But he's one of the best like drifters that's like big like that I've met that's been just like whatever.
Yeah.
And it's like I'm
real shit.
Like, damn, bro.
Real shit.
This dude's actually just like me, bro.
He's just here, bro. He's just here to chill and have a good time and drive.
Cool dude, bro.
And he's been driving his whole life.
Shout out McDowell.
Shout out Big McDowell. But like he just, for lack of better terms, I almost feel like he kind of like took me under his wing per se. Because last year, like I didn't know who to talk to and I didn't know who to go to, but I knew what I wanted to do. And that was to start getting my feet wet in an actual program and understand what it takes.
And then somebody has it because you aspire to be a pro, right? Am I wrong?
Relatively speaking. I mean, trying to take it to the highest level.
Technically you are because you don't receive money for participating in something. So technically you're professional.
Relatively speaking, yeah. But as I was saying,
I'm going to cut that.
Yeah, but last year I almost feel like, for lack of better terms, McDowell almost took me under his wing because I wanted to know what it took to run a program.
Mhm.
You know, I wanted to know what it took to, you know, set a car up, and even down to
because with that
what
being
to-
said, because like you aspire to be pro,
yeah,
and he also has like a pro car
yeah,
that's
one
based
hundred
off
percent,
yours.
100%, and
So
even he's making a big push this year. He's doing
Oh, yeah.
pro-am. He
Yeah.
already has his license, but yeah. So I kind of messaged him, and I kind of just sent him out a feeler because he had taken me a ride for my first time in his car,
Yeah.
and I'm sure you remember the event.
Yeah.
But I was like shaking at the knees, and I was like,
Yeah.
I don't know what the hell to expect because all I see is this big turbo V8Z. Yeah.
Damn.
And ever since my first ever ride along, that's on McDowell's Instagram as well. That we'll try to post the clip you can hear me screaming in.
Yeah.
But
For real.
that was my first ever ride in a car with, you know, 600-700. I don't even know how. I think it's probably like 600 or 700, you know, at the time. But I mean, bro, like
big power with the dog box and just the way the car is set up too.
Yeah,
like to
him,
be in something like
him, you know, doing first, second, third, and then I think he hit fourth and just hucked it at the wall. Bro,
like the sound.
Do you know what that like? Like you can't describe that feeling.
Yeah.
So like ever since he took me for like that first ride, I was hooked, obviously. And that wasn't obviously too long ago. I had been drifting for a while at that point, but I was hooked in the fact of like, this is like what I want to build. Like this car is crazy. Like this is the type shit that I want to get into. So ever since he took me for that ride along, I messaged him and I essentially said, yo, dude, like, I appreciate the ride. I'm like, I really want to get into this stuff. So if there's any time that like you're even at OSW and you need some help with the car or whatever, like let me know. Like I'll be there. And I think the first what was the first thing that he ever took me to? I mean, yeah, one of the first things that he took me to.
Did y'all go to Indy? No,
we didn't go to Indy. One of the first things that he took me to was like Hyperfest, and and one of the first big events that he took me to was Hyperfest. He also took me to the Drift Mansion, and dude, like him just exposing me to Hyperfest and him essentially putting me on his crew and me, like him giving me the privilege to work on the car. Like this is his baby. Like this is him and Njuku's car. Like I feel like I'm working on a freaking NASCAR team right now. You know? So like I wanted to know what it took to operate a car of that status, of that caliber. I wanted to know what it took to operate a program of that caliber. So
because it's a lot.
Yeah.
It's a lot that goes in to keep a car like that.
Bro, a ton.
Like the people see it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I'm sure there's a lot of people that understand like what it takes, but some people it's their first time.
Yeah.
And it's a lot to keep a car like that on the track.
Yeah. And I lacked that knowledge. So that's why it was simple for me to just ask and just put a feeler out and just be like, hey bro, if you need help, let me know. Yeah. And I mean, he was generous enough to bring me to Hyperfest, like I wouldn't even say it's the biggest like event in the South, one of the biggest events in the country. Like
it's sick, bro. Like I've watched a lot of people's videos on it and I'm like, damn.
Yeah, it's an EDC freaking party while also driving and dirt biking and off-roading and rallying and trucks,
like
and
every form of motorsport.
I mean, every form of motorsport in a literal park, while also, by the way, there's a circuit track, and by the way, there's a hotel, and by the way, there's a restaurant. I mean, like there's all types of stuff there's endless amounts of fun that you can have there. But narrowing down to obviously the reason behind your question, but like, Brandon was one of the first people to kind of bring me along and show me. And I don't think he really even knew what I was after. But I just wanted to learn. And that was a simple part of it. And so, he took me to Hyperfest and he took me to Grid Life. And then the next best connection that I ever made, and he's on the same status as McDowell is obviously Billy Mitchell.
Mm-hmm.
So
you got on your shirt right
shout
there.
out Big BMR.
Shout out Big Billy, baby. That's my dog right there.
Yeah, that's
I love that dude, bro.
That's my dog.
But I'm gonna tell you right now. But before, I thought he was an asshole.
He's quiet. He
just because he's
a quiet
quiet
kid. Yeah, no, he's quiet.
But then, like when you started talking to him, and I was like, okay, if he talking to him, hey, what's up, bro? He's just most kind-hearted fucking dude ever.
He moves in silence, and he keeps his mouth shut. And I think that's something that a lot of people should learn.
Hey,
is keeping their mouth shut.
I mean, that's just grown men.
Yeah, no, 100%.
You know,
and
a wise man once said nothing at all.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
Real, and to stack.
Shout out Drake.
Yeah, to stack that on top, of what I had already learned from McDowell and him exposing me to the environment of, relatively, a pro program.
Mm-hmm.
Billy just elevated that because he's like, you're on the team now. I'm like, well, what do you mean I'm on the team? He's like, well, you're a mechanic now. And I said, wait, really? He's like, he basically said, you earn your stripes. He's like, your way around a 350. He's like, what you're looking at, what bolts you're turning. And I was like, yeah, relatively, but I was like, dude, I'm like, that's a big task, So, especially to just work on a piece of art like his car, and shout out Ryan Acevedo he's the new owner. He
just got that bad boy. Yeah, I'm so mad.
Yeah, but to just work on a car of that caliber with BMR already having the status that it has, not just from Billy, but from the empire that his father and his grandfather already built. To work on a team like that was an amazing opportunity. Yeah. And he brought me to a bunch of test days with the car. He sat down with me and he taught me certain things that obviously I never knew. And then we went to New Jersey and we did the 50K. Yeah. And my knowledge expanded even more from that. And then, I mean, to add on top of that, he's my crew chief this season, and he's one of my mentors of many, with McDowell added to that, and like just like simply
the amount of knowledge you're around.
Yeah, like I said, just the people that not only have chosen me, but also the people that I've chosen to surround myself around. Like I couldn't be more thankful, and I couldn't be more grateful for the opportunities that they've, presented me with and brought me to. Like I'm forever in debt to them for that. Yeah. But like I hoped and prayed that one day I would get that type of opportunity, because I want to show them that if there's one person on this planet that appreciates their, actual time and effort of investing, into a person, that's me. And I want to show that now. That's why 100%. It's this season is a big season for me. It's definitely not my pro season, but it's a season to where, I'm ready to step up to the plate. I'm ready to
take things to the
compete.
Next level.
I'm ready to take it to the next level. And dude, holy shit, what a program I have. I mean, just as
coming straight out of the gate for 2024.
I mean,
it's the program to watch. I'll tell you that.
Yeah, I'm 100% still in the category of grassroots. I'm nowhere close to pro-am or nowhere close to any of that, just due to in my opinion, the car potential right now. Yeah. But I mean, having that type of program simply as a grassroots driver, in my opinion, says a lot. But at the same time, there's a lot of liability on me now. It's, you have to step up to the plate. You have expectations to meet. So, and that was all in the understanding, when I asked them initially to partner with me, all the brands that I've approached. Yeah. So, you need to make sure that you also have a business oriented mindset when it comes to these things, because you can't just willy-nilly walk up to these people and say, hey, give me free shit, give me a credit, give me a gas card, give me whatever.
A proof of concept.
Yeah.
You can't just.
Yeah. You have to understand all aspects, not just as a driver, but also as a business.
Okay. So we'll get more to that later, but With that being said, because that's a lot to deal with, right?
100%.
Like you've been slammed, you've been trying to keep up on the media, making sure you're getting ready for these events. Like that's a whole process within itself. So my question to you is, because I know you be closed off, and now I can ask you, and it's on camera, so you got to be honest.
Mm-hmm.
How do you balance life and drifting?
You got to take the good with the bad, and you have to find balance. Like that's the thing is like, in my opinion, it's like it's how you are as a person. Like some people can literally live and die this shit. Yeah. Like and I like to say that I can do the same thing, but bro, I can't live in a shop. Like I can't do that type of stuff. Like I can't just, when I say put my eggs in one basket, I can't. I definitely can't go to that extent where I live, eat, and breathe drifting.
So I mean that's a sacrificial like standpoint.
Yeah, 100%.
That's something that you sacrifice. Yeah, maybe somebody has sacrificed living in garages, but now you have the burden of having a home and all these other things to look after as well.
Yeah.
And
that's what I mean by balance is like in my circumstance, I'm a homeowner. I have bills on top of drifting. I have a friggin' car loan. I have my home insurance. Like you have to think about the actual adult stuff. So I'm basically just trying to make sure that all my bases are covered at all times, and I'm trying to, over everything, stay financially smart. And I think that that's admirable, if that's even a word, but I think that's admirable by a lot of people, because like you hear stories all the time of people investing their 401ks and draining their bank accounts to eat, sleep, drink this sport.
And then still, like, especially with a judge sport, where you may not even get anything out of it.
That's what I'm saying is, like, for me, like,
you may not get a damn dime, bro.
Exactly. You may not. I may not even make it. You never know. But at the same time, it's like, for every liability that I buy, for every liability that I have, I buy an asset. Yeah. And that's the balance that I try to find. Is I also try to find security, because I don't ever want to be at a point in my life where, my bills are stacked so freaking high to the ceiling that I'm afraid that I can't pay my mortgage this month. Yeah. Like I can't do that.
The water bill coming in.
Yeah, exactly.
Shit.
Exactly. And
I paid the electricity.
Yeah. And that's the way that I was raised, is to have that balance. And, everybody has a different system. Everybody has a different outlook on that stuff. But that's how I approach drifting is, drifting definitely is a lifestyle. Drifting to me definitely is a hobby, but at the same time, it's not an end all be all either.
Yeah, true, true.
I'd rather have security.
One day it's going to be over.
Yeah, one day it's going to be over.
Regardless of who you think that you are.
Exactly.
Like all the times Mario Andretti, whatever form of motorsport or athlete you are, there's an end.
Yeah. Yep.
There's always, unfortunately, an end.
There's always an end.
Sometimes.
And you have to be, smart about that stuff too.
Yeah.
So, but that's how I find balance is that. But
so that's awesome. You're making your strides. You're also doing your thing in the business world. You're also still same business, like with doing drifting, but doing something that you truly love and are passionate about, which is awesome. But with that being said, you've got your ducks in a row as of right now. Not everything's always how you want it to
all
be.
the ducks definitely aren't in a row, but I try to keep them in line.
Not everything's that you want it to be. I'm sure there's things that you wish you was doing more of.
100%.
But if you was talking to somebody that might be, say, 18 years old, they want to get into drifting, or a motherfucker that's 37 years old and wants to get into drifting, what would be your advice, such as car or setup or something like that, for somebody to get started in the drifting?
Keep it simple. Keep it simple, stupid.
So KISS.
Yeah. Okay. Keep it simple, stupid. Like I said at the beginning, I think the best way to learn is a bone stock car.
Yeah.
You know, whatever your decision may be, whatever you can find the best deal on, it doesn't need to
Because
be
way back,
Yeah.
they was drifting, believe it or not, without big angle kit.
Yeah.
Hell, not even a knuckle kit.
Yeah.
Way back.
Not even tie rod
Nah.
phasers.
No. They know what that was. They was figuring it out, but they was still drifting.
Yeah. Real.
You know?
Real. So
it ain't all about the big crazy.
No. And that's what I mean, like
driving.
Yeah. And that's what I said at the beginning is like it's so readily available, like these angle kits and these, you know,
which is good. It's good for sport.
Yeah.
I mean, I like it. It's cool that we have those things now these days. But so your advice for somebody getting started?
Yeah, KISS. Keep it simple, stupid. It doesn't freaking matter what car you have. It doesn't matter if it's a Miata. It doesn't matter if it's an E46. It doesn't matter if it's a 350Z.
Yeah.
Find a car that you can afford when you can afford it.
Car.
And start wrenching. Start working on it. Do the oil changes. Do the spark plugs.
YouTube's out there.
Do the coils. Like all the knowledge that I have ever had is off of YouTube.
Yeah.
Like the first mod that I did to my car, besides, actually the first mod that I did in my car by myself was I did test pipes on my 350Z.
Yeah.
That probably in total is a half-hour job. It took me 2 days. You know how many bolts a test pipe is?
God, dog. Did you strip the bolts? Did you snap something?
A test pipe is 10 bolts, okay? 3 on the top on each side and 2 on the bottom for the Y pipe. It took me 2 days to unscrew 10 bolts, bro. That's how amateur I was.
But you tell me you didn't snap a bolt? Were they rusted? Well, that was a nice car, though.
Oh, I definitely stripped a few. Oh, 100%. But that's how it goes, is I learn. And now I can do test pipes in 30 minutes. But, like, you're going to learn and you're going to progress. But you also need to, you know, relatively
30 minutes, that's without a lift.
Yeah, that's without a lift. That's on
He works in a small garage. I'll put a clip of it right here. But he works out of a Japanese garage, bro.
That's my little Naoki
You got Naoki garage.
That's my little Naoki garage. Yeah.
So he's definitely, well, I guess we'll keep going off of that.
Yeah.
On what you think, but by keeping it simple.
Keep your car fucking simple, dude.
So say you 18, you've been working since you was 15, you saved up
$2,600.
65.
65?
Golly,
damn, I'm balling, bro. 65.
I mean, you do it. Hey,
I'm putting a down payment on a house.
You doing chores at the house, bro.
Yeah,
like you know what I'm saying. You do
whatever. Yeah,
that's it. Hey, if you cut the grass every week on time, I'll give you an extra. $32 or whatever.
Yeah.
And you end up saving $6,500 exactly.
Mm-hmm.
What do you buy? Because you said a bone stock car. So if you're gonna add, I mean, $6,000, I mean, you might have something to play with, but maybe nowadays not so much.
Yeah, I mean, nowadays definitely not so much. I mean,
$6,500.
$6,500, you can probably buy yourself a real Beat Z.
Yeah,
not a real Beat Z, probably like a drift ready Z.
Yeah, because I mean, I see them for about sometimes $3,500, $4,500.
Yeah, and
I've
then
seen them.
and
6-speed too.
And then you have. You have a little bit more money to play around with at that point. You know, when the time comes.
So you're gonna put a knuckle kit on it, or you're gonna take care of all the maintenance and shit?
I'm definitely doing the maintenance first.
Yeah,
maintenance 100%. That ensures longevity of the car on itself. My car is stock.
Yeah,
you know my car is stock.
Yeah. I
have a full exhaust, and that's it. I have stock intakes. I have stock everything
for real,
besides ported upper and lower manifolds now.
Yeah, because even the stock intakes, but that's so smart though, because it keeps the intake temperatures down, the engine's able to breathe better.
That's the way it was engineered.
Hot short ram. Stop losing horsepower.
Yeah, stop damaging your motor, bro. Yeah. It don't need none of that. Keep the
You ever go outside in Florida or wherever you at where it's real hot and just start breathing real deep?
Yeah.
Shit.
That's your motor, but 300 degrees hotter at that point.
Run the stock air box. It ain't doing shit.
Yeah, no. That's the way it was engineered, and you gotta.
I got a hot ram on my G35 right now.
Yeah, you need to get a stock intake.
Don't follow me.
Yeah, don't do what he did. No, but yeah, buy a simple, clean little car. If you got some money set aside, invest that money into the maintenance, and then from there, delegate. figure out what your wants and needs are.
Yeah.
And like I said, I have a way different freaking opinion and standpoint than a lot of other people, but that extra money that I have, I'm setting aside and I'm making interest off of it. Or I'm, doing something with it to make me more money. Or I'm just simply being patient.
Yeah.
Or
that's usually the main game is to be patient, right?
Yeah.
I mean,
I'm buying
that
tires
could be
for
with,
it, whatever.
with the new guy thing.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I've been patient. I've been watching Drifter for 20 years.
Real shit. Yeah, I know you have.
I'm just now getting the car.
You're just now getting into it. See? JP is the most patient person I've ever met. He just
But I was doing stand stuff back
now.
in Atlanta. I had lowered LSs, wide body LS. Like, it was dumb. I knew I should have been drifting.
Can we turn it around a little bit and can I ask you about your little build? Because I don't know enough about it.
What you talking about?
Your GS.
What you talking about? I got rid of the GS. You talking about G35? You talking about my River?
No.
What you talking about?
You had the bag. Didn't you have the bag GS?
Oh, no. Well, I did
LS.
I had a GS 300 06 that had coilovers on it and wheels. I had a 92 LS 400 that was lowered on some XXRs, but it was clean.
Yeah.
But then my wide body LS 430.
Yeah. Can you tell us a little bit about that, bro? Because I've only seen a picture once in my lifetime of that car.
Nah, I probably showed you a little video or here or there or two or whatever.
Tell me about it.
Airlift? It was a car that, shit, man, it was something V2. I can't even remember now. I feel like it was airlift. Shit, that was fucking 10 years ago.
Bro, that was a clean ass car,
probably about 7 years ago. But, yeah, man. Metal wide body built by Superstar Custom. Shout out Superstar. I don't even know
metal wide body?
Yeah, metal wide body. And it had ADV1s on it. If you know, you know.
Yeah. ADV1s, them OGs. Yeah.
Bro. 14 degrees of camber in the rear, like 13 and a half up front. And the fenders in the car, the way that Superstar built it, the wheels, like the body would sit on the wheels. Yeah. But like nothing would move. But it'd be like this far off the ground. Yeah. And it was wild, bro, to drive down the street.
Oh, I can imagine.
When White Iverson first came out.
Oh, shit.
I had the windows down, bro. People out there.
Yeah.
What the fuck is that? That shit was wild. That was a wild car. Yeah. It's probably one of my favorite cars they ever had.
That is one of my favorite cars.
As much as, things like that cost, car payment and, tires all the fucking time. Tires falling off all the time. I could have been drifting, but I chose that because of certain situations.
Bro, it was clean though.
But, I'm just happy to start driving now.
I'm happy you're starting to drive now. I'm happy. It's about damn time because I can't afford to fix your mistakes in my cars anymore, bro.
I can't wait to just all those new quarter panels, bro. All this work you've been doing in this car.
Damn, bro, for real? You're gonna take out the new quarter panels,
bro?
Oh hell no!
I'm about to go on Copart right now looking for doors for your ass.
Yeah, you might as well. Hey, stop chewing your nails.
Hey,
I just cut them.
Don't be doing that.
Whatever, it's keeping her busy.
For real. Let her do that shit. Where do you see yourself in the sport in 5 years?
Bro,
5 years is a long time.
A lot can happen in 5 years.
Yeah, a whole lot. Just think about 5 years ago. You were just starting.
Yeah,
right?
Yeah, basically.
Yeah.
Yeah, essentially, I had...
It's been 4 or 5 years.
Yeah,
5 years.
I had, started taking drifting relatively, not serious, but, getting my feet a little bit more wet 5 years ago, per se. So where do I see myself from 5 years? Hopefully, definitely.
I mean, this is all dreams too. Don't be fucking modest and be like, well, I just hope,
No, I'm not being modest, but
What do you want to do? What do you want to accomplish? What's the goals? 5 years.
I want to be driving full time, and I want to have a program set up to where all my dogs are my crew. And I want to have a program set up to where I arrive and I drive. And that's it.
Yeah.
I arrive and I drive. I think that's
low key. That's like what Chelsea doing right now, low key.
Yeah, real shit. That's what the RTR team does.
Yeah.
Like that is the RTR team. Their drivers arrive and they drive.
Yeah.
And that is
same with the mechanics and shit, bro. I just feel like they be having something, and I know it's stressful. It ain't easy.
No,
it damn sure ain't
absolutely
easy
not.
to do those jobs underneath that pressure. Like, I mean, I'm sure
Mhm.
they practice certain things and all
Oh
that.
yeah, there's
Like, it's
tons of
not-
stuff that goes into it.
Yeah, it's
Have you seen Von Gitten's recent videos in like Denofa of like going through like I watch these videos of Von Gitten and like I look at what they show on the camera, but I'm checking out what's behind the camera.
oh yeah,
I'm like looking over their
Look at them
shoulders.
say, damn,
I'm
what's in
like
the
seeing.
background?
I'm like looking at their toolboxes. I'm looking at the lifts they got. I'm looking at the cars they have stored on the lifts that have covers over them. Like I'm looking at that type of stuff.
Yeah.
You know, because like that is the RTR is RTR is obviously like beside every other program that's very advanced. There's a ton of advanced programs out there, but RTR is obviously like tip of the spear.
I mean, you got like factory back. It's like same like with Chris Forsberg.
Yeah,
and he's had
Nissan.
an LPR, but he's had a new chassis and everything like that too.
He had one of the first 400Zs,
still,
and he drifts it
competitively, bro.
Yeah, RTR has one of the first 650s.
Yeah,
and they drift them.
Yeah,
although one's just a 550 with 650 body panels on it. But regardless,
is that what you think?
Oh, it's for sure.
You think it's for sure?
It's for sure. I think
because I looked at it like I don't really see no difference, but I see that you could probably do that if you wanted to.
Because this year's probably different. This year they probably have actual dedicated 650s. Ben Hobson's obviously joining, so I'm sure he has a 650.
Hey Vaughn, let us know, bro. Were they 550s, bro?
I think I want to say.
Do you think Chelsea's car was still 550?
I think Chelsea's car was still a 550 with 650 body panels on it.
Yeah,
I'm fairly confident in that statement, but I definitely could be wrong.
Yeah.
But regardless,
true.
Like RTR,
because we don't know what the fuck we looking at.
Oh yeah.
Well, we be looking at a video, and be like, I don't know, that looks the same, but it may not be the same.
For me, like I definitely don't doubt them, but for me, like for a team,
it'd be like NASCAR. It'd be smart.
Did you watch the RTR documentary?
There's a documentary?
You didn't watch the documentary?
Hell, I ain't seen the documentary,
bro. It's official.
Okay, I know what we're doing after this.
Official.
No, it's late, but I know what I'm doing after this.
We committed now, but okay. Yeah. So, like, I don't know. For me, for a team like that to build, a right-hand drive at 650 and two other 650s at the same time, I'm not saying it's impossible, but that's a lot of damn work. So I wouldn't be surprised if they built, James Dean's car and then did one 650 and then took a 550 and threw 650 panels on it. But regardless, nonetheless, like that's not taking away from like my statement and saying that like that is my dream program is like an RTR program or RTR in freaking general. But I don't even know where the hell RTR is going to be in 5 years. I mean, they're probably going to.
It's the new, like they talk about Vaughn all the time. He's the new like Carroll Shelby. I mean, like
he is
especially when it coming into a sport that's kind of new and being very innovative.
Bro, he is so like iconic, and Vaughn is.
Bro, I was watching him when he had an S13, bro.
Yeah,
I was watching all the Drift Alliance, bad as hell. Those old things back then, bro.
Drift Alliance.
I was watching FD on G4 TV, bro. Most of y'all kids don't even know what that is. Look it up.
Yeah. Real
They're starting to post some of their old stuff now.
Real shit. No, they did, and I'm glad that they did because I think that like other kids and these newcomers need to know where the OGs came from.
Yeah, for real.
Like some of these kids, I mean, they act like their shit don't stink, but. Regardless, nonetheless,
because they didn't start out the right way. That's what I feel like.
Yeah,
so they just add
100%.
Everything. Oh, big power, big angle, big all this. Big.
You look at Drift Alliance. You look at old D1 GP. Like we're talking about big angle here. They didn't even know what the hell angle was back then. They
still barely in Japan cut knuckles.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying.
Backies.
Like they barely had cut knuckles.
Backies, bruh.
Real shit. And I mean, one of my main inspirations, Naoki. He was one of the people doing that shit.
Yeah.
Back then.
Yeah.
So
still doesn't know how to live. Shout out Drift Masters.
Shout out Drift Masters. That's another amazing series. Yeah, bitch. If we're talking 5 years.
Hold on.
If we're talking 5 years.
There's one thing we're gonna cut because I gotta pee.
Okay.
and we're gonna come back.
Okay. We cutting. Turn the mics off. So the only thing that... Yeah. Something like that.
All right, so we back. So we just talked about Naoki,
Something like that.
and then we said Drift Games, Drift Masters.
Mm-hmm. Great series. Great driver.
Great, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Which do you prefer to like more? Is it Drift Masters or is it FD?
I think everybody's opinion on FD and Drift Masters are relatively similar.
Because that's all I want. I just want, like, obviously his opinion. Like an asshole, everybody got one.
Yeah, no,
But
I think FD is like the more suit and tie,
mm-hmm.
and Drift Masters is, the more lenient series. I just think, I don't know the specifics about Drift Masters.
Well, I think because, shout out FD podcast, I was listening to Adam LZ today, and he was just talking about like the chassis setups, and then their tire setups over there is like different.
Yeah.
And I'm still not for sure on how much that translates, right? Because like all of their cars are like that. And then there's different restrictions here. They're both great.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I know that the chassis regulations are
I'm speaking
are more lenient as well. So you have more freedom to do like different setups and different, cage styles and different suspension setups and of that nature. And I think FD is, a little bit more strict when it comes to that stuff as well.
Yeah.
So
true.
FD, in my opinion, is just like obviously always about the fans as much as FD is as well. But I mean, bro, they have fireworks in the middle of their freaking runs.
Like they're going around the track and it's boom, 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 boom. Like the whole production behind it.
It's production value.
Because spectator wise,
bro,
it's more exciting.
They packed a 50,000 person stadium.
I'm sorry, FD. I love FD. I've been down with y'all since day one, bro.
Yeah.
But I'm telling you.
They're just on a different game, a different level.
Yeah, it's different culture. It's like speed. It's a different thing.
Mm-hmm. And I think that
But hold on, because I gotta say something.
Okay.
FD saying, they're like the suit and tie of like drifting. Like, it's kind of like a Formula One style.
When I think of FD, I'm not gonna lie, when I think of FD, the first person that pops into my head is Osbo. Because he's the suit and tie. He's like a suit and tie.
Yeah.
Like
can drive extremely well.
Yeah.
Great with the media.
Well spoken.
Yeah.
Well spoken.
Yeah.
Always
shout out Osbo.
Always has his stature right. Always, is making sure to talk in the right lingo
and to say the right things.
Yeah,
exactly.
And that's like kind of what I think when it comes to FD.
Yeah.
Obviously other drivers and other programs are a little bit more lenient, but it's just two different speeds is really all it is. And whether I'm right or not,
and the tracks too.
Whether I'm right or not when it comes to the spectator aspect is like,
can you be right though?
No, I can never be right. So it's gonna be wrong to somebody, obviously.
Yeah.
But sure. my opinion with the Drift Masters thing is like, you're in Europe, so in my opinion, as patriotic as we are in the U.S., like Europe and those countries are so damn patriotic. Like they'll show out for their UFC fighter. That came from the smallest city. They'll show up for the soccer.
They'll fly continents, bro.
Look at the soccer stadiums.
Yeah.
In Europe, and that's like
they got kind of chants and
that's
everything.
The kind of speed that like Drift Masters is on.
As patriotic even out there, people be having the.
That's what I'm saying.
Where's he from? Like Norwegian or something?
Yeah.
He's a Norwegian hammer.
Yeah.
There'd be the flags out there, bro.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, as patriotic as we are for the US. But
this year, mark my words, watch how many Irish flags you see.
Yeah, real.
When Connor Shanahan,
the whole island,
and James Dean,
the whole island's gonna be. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. The whole island's gonna be in the stadium, bro.
My bad. Part 3.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's gonna be a wild spectacle. So where do you think the sport is headed at this moment? Like, especially like do
Nowhere
you?
but up.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Nowhere but up.
I mean, because Drift Masters, they're expecting
Mm-hmm.
100,000 people.
Something like that. Some crazy amount of people. It's gonna double, and then it's gonna double this year, and then
But
it's
then you
gonna.
had the people say, "Well, they ain't really that many," because I was seeing that too.
Oh, that beef. I mean, to be honest, I read through that whole conversation. I'm not gonna lie, and Vaughn getting got caught red-handed, trying to talk his talk. You know, I
Damn.
because I know that who was it? Who's that really iconic photo dude? Larry Chen.
Oh, Larry
He
Chen,
was
yeah,
there like way back when,
yeah. Uh-huh.
and apparently somebody took screenshots, of him standing on his car after he won, and they were circling empty spots in the stands.
Yeah.
But regardless, like that was just
Like
back
it
then.
was still all great
It
shit
was all
though.
great shit. It's all
Like
great.
I
That's the
don't I don't
history.
understand
Like
yeah, it was just history. It was history in certain parts of time.
like what I'm saying is like without that event that Von Gittin went to in the same stadium,
Yeah.
there probably wouldn't be a Drift Masters competition in that stadium for him to compare it to. Von Gittin set the footprint. Obviously, he made the impact. He's
Bro,
the OG.
they was making moves, bro. Them boys was in Costa Rica. They
Yeah.
was drifting everywhere.
Yeah.
A
lot less places than they do today, or a lot more places than they do
also
today.
Drift Masters and Drift Games, they putting on their part.
Yeah, I mean overall they're top tier series.
Yeah,
They're the tip of the spear.
100%.
I mean, and I mean, don't even get me started about like D1 GP and shit. I think that shit is just it's been on a different level ever since.
Yeah.
So
The speed,
oh yeah, it's the whole
bro.
Japanese style.
Like
That's my inspiration.
I can't think of the track right now, but it's the one where they go downhill, then they boom shoot it towards the wall, and then they go back around. It's one of the ones that Naoki won when he had the V8.
Okay.
But like tracks like that, bro, like super fast, like downhill real quick.
It's almost like a skid pad.
Kind of get into
it's almost
it.
like a skid pad. Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
But
bro, he's pulling a wheel off the ground every turn.
You see the clutch gears just
yeah, and that's part of that
and it's
car
still
setup.
Smooth.
Yeah, and it's still smooth, bro. Naoki. I mean, I'm not even gonna get into it because we don't have enough time. But Naoki is literally my inspiration, as you know.
Oh yeah.
As you know, he's been one of the first people that I studied since day one. Because when I first Googled drifting, the first people that popped up was Animal Style and Naoki Nakamura, and they both draw each other together. In my opinion,
you probably thought they was from the same place.
I thought they were from the same place. I thought they were all friends
because their cars. Shout out Animal Style, bro. Damn.
Shout out Julian. Shout out Jason. I mean, they've been the ones that I've watched, in Animal Style since the beginning, since they're freaking. I don't remember the title of the video, but ever since their little thrash session in a literal parking lot, like going around the medians in the parking lot, like inches away from concrete, and that was one of the first like thrash videos I saw. I was like, holy shit! I'm like, there's really people out there with that type of skill, and that's what I want to get to. And then obviously the style, and I mean just the excitement of the driving and the excitement of the livery, and then for that to translate to like Naoki, like I thought, I'm not gonna lie, I thought Julian and Jacob were like Naoki. I thought they drove the car over in Japan because the liveries were so similar.
Yeah.
But it turns out that obviously, Naoki, one of the most iconic drivers in the world.
Yeah. And you got like dudes like shirts tucked in.
Shirts tucked in. I mean, direct inspiration.
Bro, if you ain't seen Shirts Tucked In,
amazing.
Tune in, bro. If you want to see some driving, yeah. Tune in.
It's one of the best references in my opinion when it comes to just straight up raw driving. He has 20-30 minute clips of no music, no cuts, no nothing, just him driving, and that's it.
Him driving,
and you can learn so much by just watching.
People
I think people like just watch.
That's where I get a lot of my car X techniques from.
Yeah,
I don't know if you noticed.
Yeah, no, I mean he don't spin as much though, but.
Well, my Ackerman's fucked up.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. You lower your caster, bro.
Hey, shout out CarX, bro.
Shout out CarX. No, but yeah, I mean, I think that's just like been the Japanese style since day one. Fast driving,
and I see that
excitement.
a lot of you like
Bro, I
you.
just love
It's
driving
just like
fast.
charging hard,
Yeah.
just fucking just going.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Damn.
Just going fast and being committed, is
Yeah.
the biggest thing. And I mean, it's always fun throwing a grippy ass set of tires on and just driving your ass off
Yeah.
and just
Oh
driving the car as
shit.
fast as you can.
With that being said, I know you've driven on a lot of different tires. I know you really love the Nexons when you had some Nexons on. I don't know
Oh
if you
yeah.
remember that.
Mm-hmm.
You
The
remember
next one,
that?
and Farah's
The Inferas?
and Farah SUR4Gs or something like
Yeah,
that.
yeah,
They're
yeah.
like a competition tire.
Yeah.
That video actually, Nexons. Isn't it crazy how tonight's working? That's crazy, ain't it?
Nah.
Yeah, that's the first
That
King
was
of us.
Nexons at that one? That
Yep,
was the
that's
second King, right?
yeah.
Because
No,
they're
that
on
was the
camera.
first.
Oh, that was the
Because
first.
I won that one in the wet.
That's right.
And remember, your dad was there,
Yeah.
and he was like, "You're gonna win." Yeah,
yeah, Pops
Yeah.
was tripping. Pops
Yeah.
was on one.
Pops is on one, always smoking a backwood.
Damn.
But I won
yeah.
that competition with those Nexons we were talking about.
Yeah, so you've driven on Nexons.
Mhm.
You've also driven on Falcons. You've
Oh
driven
man,
on
yeah, Falcons are great.
You've driven on Kendas.
Mm-hmm.
I guess price has a lot to do with this, but what tire do you recommend the most? Like what do you think that you've had like the most success with? Like as far as like a tire feeling stable.
A tire feeling stable. I mean, in my opinion, one of the best tires that I've driven on is probably the new Kenda. The new Kenda Vesda, the UHP Summer Maxes.
Yep.
That's a really well balanced, good tire.
A lot of people talking about that because we've been at the track and they'd be like, "Hey."
That's how I won King of SW on those. My most recent win was on those Kendas, and
they were on those Kendas.
Yeah, yeah, and they were. It's a well balanced tire, and they're doing even more R&D. With the tire now. That wasn't even like.
Kenda's really shooting for a lot, man. Like.
They're
with them being an FD and everything now, like
they're stepping up.
Yeah.
But to be honest, like I'm not gonna lie, like my all time favorite tire, if price weren't an issue, I'd probably go back to the Falcons. I'm not gonna lie, like those Falcon Aztens, the 615K pluses or Azenas, whatever.
However you want to pronounce it. Hey, let us know in the comments if you could pronounce it. Let us know.
I don't know if there's a right or wrong.
Is it Azenis?
Azena or Azten?
Azena,
I know there's an I know there's an I somewhere.
I don't know.
Damn, dude, like not to go back to the whole iconic shit, but like Falcon, bro. Like Falcon and their team, like you can't separate that.
It's honestly, I think because JR, I feel like he probably learned a lot from Falcon.
100%.
So then he implemented that in like to RTR, and yeah, they run like Nido or whatever. I don't know if does he run Nidos too?
Who?
JR. They all run Nidos.
Oh, they're all sponsored by Nido.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
So yeah,
they run those gangster Nidos.
But I feel like he translated all that Falcon stuff right into.
Oh, I'm sure there was tons of data and tons of stuff that probably transferred over
into some illegal stuff back
into Nido. Yeah, for sure.
What would be illegal now?
Yeah.
Adjustable dampers and shit like that. Like
JR was the first person and the only person to make that shit illegal.
Yeah.
An FD.
Yeah. It was like hell no.
Yeah. But no, the in my opinion, those freaking Falcons, they're nothing to mess around with. They're grippy. They have tons of life. They wear fantastic. The only caveat is they're like right now they're like for a pair of 265s they're like I think they're like $250 a tire.
So it's like, so do you kind of think you get what you pay for sometimes?
Oh yeah, and in the right situation, 100%.
Yeah.
If you're in a competition setting,
it's like if you was running like a Michelin pilot sport too, like something that
I've working at Lexus, I've ran tons of Michelins, and they're not really anything to rave about, to be honest. I just think that
certain styles of driving because maybe you're drifting them on. It's not like a drift tire.
Yeah, it's not a drift tire. Like it's just a different speed.
Shit. The Nido really ain't. If you ask me, I've seen those tires for forever. The 555s.
Oh yeah. Mm-hmm.
They've been around for forever. But I guess that's what makes FD different too.
Yeah,
which is what we were just talking about.
Yeah, I mean another tire that's right next to Falcon. I didn't have a great experience with them, probably due to my alignment, whatever. They didn't wear the best, but obviously, Valinos. The
The
08Rs,
Bridges.
bro. The 08Rs. I mean, they're nothing to mess around with either.
Yeah,
They'll like, I think those are probably
you
the
think that's
most
why they're
competition
not.
used tires. You know, in
Yeah,
local
as
grassroots
far as
drifting, yeah,
like all the
yeah, all
Riversides
the
and like
Riverside
things
stuff,
like that.
they're
Yeah,
definitely one of the most used tires,
yeah.
100%.
Damn.
So they're an
Is it
amazing
because they
tire,
last long, or is it the grip that
but
they have?
they do both depending on what tire you get.
Yeah,
You know, they have the
all the
Matsuris,
size
and
yeah,
everybody raves about those with the tire life.
yeah.
And then they have the 08Rs, and those are the competition tires. Those are the tires that Naoki runs. So they have a very wide spectrum of
Wait, so he was
tires.
running those in Drift Masters then?
Naoki?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So technically, so maybe that kind of makes sense.
Yeah.
Maybe it's not as good as some of the tires that they can run. That's
Yeah.
over there.
Well, the thing of
But
it is
still, like,
it's the
I guess it's
driving
all
style.
perspective.
It's
Yeah,
bro,
yeah,
it's so the driving.
yeah.
I don't care what you say, what you do, and what your opinion is. Pull up a video in Drift Masters,
Mhm.
and I mean, pull up a video of him going against anybody else, and you will just blatantly see the obvious driving style difference in
Yeah,
Naoki versus any other European
Yeah.
driver for that matter.
100%.
And that's just the different style. I think, you know, like we said, going back to Japan drifting, is there's more speed implemented into it. There's not as much. It's not as angle demanding per se, I guess, because you don't see dudes like throwing crazy angle on every turn. You see these dudes. I mean, I forget what track it is, but there's a competition layout where they literally go straight and then they reinitiate, you know, in the track. So it's not judged as like, oh, you don't manji, or, you know, don't manji the straight, drift it, you know, throw a big angle. They're like, let's see how fast you can go, and how you know, far you can throw off the freaking G meter that's in the car, the black box, because that's where the judging comes from anyway.
Bro, I used to see those in Super Street magazine, like for sale. That's wild.
Yeah. So it's just a different style, in my opinion.
Yeah.
So
it really is.
But nonetheless, all great drivers.
With that being said, do you have your phone? So I can cut this.
I got you. My bad.
Because I got a few.
You good?
More questions, because we just winged it for a minute.
It was clean though.
It's still clean. It's clean.
Yeah. Hold on, bro. Hit the vape real quick. Stop biting your goddamn nails. I already cut them. Oh, you got a hangnail. Okay. I'll clean that off later. All right. Lay down. Lay down. Come on.
So with that being said, is there anything that you would like to see change in drifting? Whether it's a different form of qualifying, whether it's the way that the sport is judged, because we see the D1 aspect, we see the FD aspect, we see the Drift Masters aspect. What do you think would be a way to, you think that can make the sport better, or just where do you see it going with that?
I mean, first,
what changes would you like to see?
To be honest, to answer that question, I wouldn't change anything.
You just let it just keep evolving?
Because I love the diversity of the series. I love the style FD demands. I love the style that Drift Masters demands, and I love the style D1 GP demands.
Yeah.
I think
shit, D1 and Z.
D1
and
and
Z. Sleeping on D1 and Z.
D1.
Bro, they're commentating everything as though they got the old dude. Oh yeah, so tell me about your experience during the day.
Yeah. That's what I mean. Like, I love the diversity and all the different characteristics this different series have. I think that if all the series were the same and they all were judged the same, or whatever the case is, it'd be boring.
We wouldn't be having nothing to talk about.
That's what I'm saying. We wouldn't.
Like, yeah, well, you know.
Yeah,
and all due respect with all other sports like NASCAR and, you know, as far as we're talking about motorsports.
Yeah.
It can get kind of mundane, and I know they're trying to do things to change that. And Formula One's great, NASCAR is great, but with drifting, you get so many different varieties. And I guess you get that with grid racing. You got the Le Mans, you got NASCAR, like you have IndyCar, but where are you doing same thing where it's
you have diverse
all
tracks,
completely
but very similar setup cars.
Yeah.
Versus drifting, you have diverse tracks with very diverse cars.
Very diverse cars. Especially
Different
over there in
sounding
Driftgate,
cars,
bro. There's
different looking cars.
Dude got an E350 diesel wagon or
Yeah,
some shit,
bro.
bro.
That's what I'm saying. And you got
That nigga said,
yeah. Red line at 3,000 RPM. Go figure. But yeah, I mean, you have so many different diversities, so I wouldn't really change. I mean, when it comes to specific series and the judging style, I mean, maybe not. But when it comes to the series, I wouldn't change much.
Yeah.
So
that's true.
It would just get relatively boring if everything were the same.
Yeah.
Like I said, so
I get that. What do you think's been the most challenging thing you coming up?
Most challenging thing for me, I mean, it like in general has just been like physically tearing apart the car and like redoing it all over again. Yeah. As much help as I'm getting from my sponsors, as amazing as they are, I'm still the one turning the wrenches.
Yeah.
I'm still the one turning the bolts. I'm still the one putting all the hours in, as everybody else does. So everybody, all drifters get it. But
y'all know.
Yeah. Everybody understands.
And the people who know.
Yeah. And everybody understands what it's like to lay in your garage at 2 a.m. and you're literally falling asleep on the garage floor.
Yeah.
Like working on this shit because you're trying to get it ready for the next day or the next weekend or the next private day, whatever. So that's been the biggest challenge for me.
The biggest challenge. Yeah. Because I guess that goes back to what we talked about earlier too, is just like the balance of everything too.
Yeah,
right?
it's the balance because
it's like a lull period.
Yeah.
It's like off season.
Yeah.
But it really ain't off season.
But bro, time
you got to put in that work.
Yeah.
During the off season.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly. So yeah, I mean, everybody's got their freaking day jobs. Nobody I know at least does this full time. Everybody's got a day job, so everybody knows the damn struggle.
Yeah.
So we all just have to find our time that we can invest in our family and our friends and our cars and our life in general.
Yeah.
So
speaking of friends, man, we was at that's the last event. Where you was out there shredding, feeling the car out. You had a little interview with Dustin Motors.
Shout out Dustin Motors.
Shout out Dustin.
It's my dog.
He asked you what you wanted to see from Drifting 2, and you said you wanted to see some more beef.
Yeah.
Like, expand on that. Like what do you mean by that?
I mean, more excitement, more diversity, more like, yes, like we are totally accepting of new people. We're totally and we're totally understanding of like new drivers. But like when you're in a specific competition setting, it's not always like, oh, it's okay, dude. Like you'll get it next time. Like, no, you suck. This is where you messed up. Learn from it and apply it, and do better. And in a competition setting, it's like, it's very welcoming and it's awesome. Like everybody that I've competed against is most of the time my friend, So it's I'm not going. It's not going to say like,
I remember you and Camel's going against you.
Yeah.
He's like, hey, I love you, bro.
Yeah, yeah.
I love you.
Yeah, exactly.
Straight into chaos.
Exactly. So I'm not saying like have beef with every single person you go up against, but I mean like NASCAR, for example.
Bro, they're just, matter of fact, the series just dropped as we're talking right now.
Yeah.
And I can't wait to watch it on Netflix. Shout out Netflix.
Shout out Netflix. Big N.
The Big N.
Yeah.
But that series is coming out, bro, and it goes into with that dude punching homeboy in the face.
Yeah. Like that's what I'm saying. Like it's okay to get mad. It's okay to talk shit sometimes. It's competition. Right? And I think that also scares away some people because people don't want that type of pressure.
Well, that's okay, bro. There's always a skip pad open. There's always things you can.
Yeah, there's always Learner's Day. There's always Learner's Day. Yeah. You can always have fun.
I still ain't.
But like
there yet.
Yeah, but like,
I'm on the way.
Like for me specifically, like I'm your friend all up until I hit the cone, and once I hit the cone, it's gloves off.
Trying to bury your ass.
Yeah, I mean, and that's no offense.
Yeah.
But that's the mentality you understand. That's the mentality you have to have. Yeah. Like it's sink or freaking swim these 2 runs, and you need to hit your points. Yeah. And shit, if you hit me, I'm swinging.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? No.
Hey, and it is what it is.
No, but
hey, I'm swinging.
Yeah.
Hey,
yeah,
run up.
Yeah. I'm
run
just,
up if you want to.
I'm just saying,
No.
like
it's all love.
I'm not a bully. I'm accepting of obviously everybody. I'm friends.
I mean, you a
I'm
bully
friends
with the car.
everybody. I'm a bully with the car, but I'm friends with everybody. But like,
yeah,
dude, if you got a problem, call them out.
yeah,
Like, prove yourself. Like,
yeah.
like give yourself a challenge.
Talk to each other like men too.
Yeah.
Stop all this internet shit, bro.
Yeah, like
that shit lame.
Like, give yourself a challenge.
Yeah, nobody want to hear none of that. Real world don't care nothing about none of that.
Yeah, yeah. I
mean,
mean,
none of it.
All the Instagram stuff and all the social media stuff.
Yeah, just pull up and talk to the dude. Be like, bro, I thought that shit was fucked up. Well, shit. I mean, you can get it from a different perspective.
Yeah.
But if you're always looking on the internet to see what everybody else is saying, you can get clouded.
Yeah.
So you know,
the internet and social media platform. I mean, that can be gone in the snap of a finger, and nobody's gonna remember. Nobody's gonna know. Nobody's gonna care.
Yeah.
So I mean, the whole internet stuff to me is, you know, here and there. You know, for me, it's like I love it. I love making connections on social media, and I think that's the big advantage of it. But also, obviously, it can get really dark and really stupid.
Yeah.
So
for no reason.
That's like the whole thing is like Twitter fingers turn to trigger fingers, not literally, but don't be talking all that shit and like not expect me to call you out at the track.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I'm saying? So like that's the type of speed I'm talking.
Yeah.
You know, and if you're not that type of person, and if you're not the type of person to talk shit and prove it on the track regardless, then you're already 2 steps ahead.
To me, bro, because we got a football background, like competition is at an all-time high. Yeah. Like your position could be going like that.
Bro, life
if you're
is a
not always on point. Yeah, everything's a fucking competition.
Yeah.
If you're just saying, oh, going to my job and being like, oh yeah, well, you know, I'm just going through the motions. Guess what? Your ass ain't gonna get nowhere.
Yeah.
And then you wonder why you can't get out your mama's house.
Yeah. Real. And
you know what I'm saying?
That's just and maybe that's the way I was raised.
Everything you gotta suck up.
Yeah, maybe that's the way I was raised, but like yeah, bring some more damn beef. Like if you got a problem, sort it out. Take it on the track, because you know what?
And then dap each other up after that. Be like, damn, bro.
Yeah. Fuck, that's what I'm saying.
That was clean.
Yeah.
You got my ass. Hey, I'm about to beat your ass next time, bro.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. But like at the same time, everybody does it on social media, is whether it's real or fake beef, that draws a fucking crowd. And that makes it exciting, because people are gonna, hey, these two kids aren't cool with each other. They're about to take it out.
Like, oh shit.
Yeah, that draws
That's
people
like
to the track.
Earnhardt going against Jeff Gordon or something. Yeah. You know somebody's gonna put somebody into the wall.
Yeah.
They just drive it.
Yeah.
But guess what? They're gonna have dinner afterwards.
Exactly.
You know?
Exactly. So
what's wrong with spicing it up?
Exactly.
Because when, like, just like with the NASCAR thing, like it was like kind of in the law, and then oh shit, he punched him. Now everybody's talking about it. Yeah. Even if you don't even watch NASCAR, you know that one of the NASCAR drivers punched somebody else in the face.
Yeah.
Now you're thinking like, damn, I may want to start watching this.
Real shit.
Chelsea DeNofa, same shit. That shit went viral as fuck.
Yeah, that too.
Like because what? Because this shit's just real, bro.
He probably made
competition.
Tons of money off that shit. Whether he did or not, he got the views, and that paid all in itself. But bro,
like the sponsors won.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, Ford made him apologize, but not apologize at the same time.
Yeah,
but
we ain't gonna talk about that.
Yeah,
you know,
he just had to do it for the people. That's all. Yeah. But I mean,
which is political, and that's how, you know, that's just how shit should be.
To me, like the perfect example that I've had a personal experience with of a great example of beef, and we settled it like fucking men, is most recent King of OSW. Shout out Tassarino, Steven. Steven? We'll cut that.
Yeah.
Shout out Tassarino. He called me out.
Yeah.
Before Tommy could even finish his sentence.
Yeah. He was
he said, I'm calling Chris out. And I was like, damn right.
I was like, oh.
Yeah. And you know what he said? He said, I'm calling you out because last time he's like, you know, I messed up. I made a mistake or whatever. And then he's like, you know, on the follow, he's like, you had a really good follow. Yeah. And he's like, I want redemption. And I'm like, that is respectable. I'm like 100. I'm
because
like,
now you're going to get somebody that you know that's about to go
damn
hard
right.
as fuck, and you could drive as hard.
Real,
not like, oh, I don't really know what this guy's going to do.
Real,
yeah, it's
that's
real.
What I'm saying.
I'm here right now.
That's the type of
line
beef,
it up.
that's the type of beef I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Like that's the
Yeah.
type of stuff that made it fun, because I guarantee you, everybody in the crowd, yo, Tassarino just called Chris out. What's gonna happen? Oh shit. For real? Yeah. So that draws a crowd, that draws people, and that makes it more fun. And it made it even more fun for at the end of the run on whoever won. We knew that we drove our ass off because it was sink or swim. Somebody was going to win that battle.
Yeah. It was 50-50.
And we dapped each other up, and we ended up drinking at the end of the night.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Having a good
And we're good friends.
time, man.
That's the type of beef I'm talking about. Like, that's fun.
Yeah.
And I love that shit. That's the competition setting I want to be in.
Yeah.
You know?
That's just remind me of being on the field, bro. You busting the other dude's ass on the other team
Exactly.
all game.
You set the
and then
tempo.
y'all all line up and y'all dap each other up. Hey, man, good shit. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. So, like, that's the type of speed that I'm on when it comes to that stuff. Is that makes it exciting. It's not, anybody want to call anybody out? Oh, no, I guess we'll just see who we end up with. Fuck no. Yeah. Dude, if you want redemption with somebody, call them out, because that makes you as a better driver too.
Don't be no introvert in this. Not in competition.
Yeah. So, you know.
And OSW is still supposed to be a fun event, but like you said, it's going up.
Yeah.
But man, I think we talked about enough today.
Yeah.
Definitely gonna have you on again. For sure.
We're coming back for part 2.
Yeah, stay on the lookout for part two, brother. I appreciate you coming by and spending this time. I know it took a little time to get everything set up.
I know, we chilling.
But
we chilling. Man, I think that this was a fantastic first podcast. I think that this definitely helped set the tempo for what all of you guys are looking forward to as well. Yeah. I think that this is going to be a series that you guys are definitely going to want to tune into, because if you know us, then you will know us real soon.
And if you want to know us, pull up. What's up? I'll talk to you all day, brother.
Yeah, real. But if
girl, whatever, whoever you are.
Yeah, if you don't know us,
pronouns right these days.
You know us, you'll know us real well, because we are exciting, we're fun, and we're a bunch of friends, and we like to have a good time.
Love to have a good time, brother. Yeah, and it's always a good time, man.
Oh, dude, it's always fire. It's great. It's a great time.
With that being said, man, you got anybody you want to shout out? Sponsors?
First of all, I want to shout out JP Vlogs, JP Podcast, JP Production.
We don't know what we're gonna call it yet, but we in here.
Yeah, we shout out JP first of all for having us in this beautiful ass little studio he set up for us, and it's only gonna get better, obviously. Second of all, in no particular order, is my sponsors, Injuku Racing. Amazing company.
Yeah.
If you need,
I was just looking for a Chase Bays Hydro off that mug.
Yeah. Shout out Injuku. They're an amazing company. So if you need any parts, hit them up. Second of all, with Injuku, shout out Brandon McDowell. We touched on him a little bit. He's an amazing person, an amazing driver. Make sure to follow him on Instagram. We'll link everybody's Instagram below. Third of all, shout out Billy Mitchell Racing, Big BMR.
Big BMR, Big Billy.
Amazing dude, amazing mentor, amazing driver. He's an awesome person, and he's thankfully my crew chief for this upcoming season.
His body.
Oh yeah, 100%. Third or fourth of all, shout out Chase Bays. They're my most recent sponsor. I just signed on with them, and I'm super excited for this season. I'm running a diverse amount of products in their car that I can't wait to show you guys. Fifth of all, shout out Rise Fab Shop, an amazing shop. If you have any need for any type of fabrication, custom fabrication, when it comes to motor or chassis. Because they do a lot of FD cars too, right? Ton of FD cars, I think. He did like John Cash's car. And is it John Cash? Jonathan Cash, yeah. Anyway. But yeah, I mean, Rise Fab Shop, an amazing shop. It's your one-stop shop go-to for anything fabrication needs. Diverse amount of products as well. And I'm pretty sure that... Oh, shout out Grip Royal. One of the newer sponsors that
everyone just came on, baby.
Yeah,
let's go.
Grip Royal's clean. I have a really, really cool thing just set up with them. I just finalized all the details with them, so we're gonna have something really cool with them. And I'm just so thankful for this opportunity. I'm thankful for everybody.
Yeah.
So it's gonna be a good ass time.
2024, baby.
Yeah,
We out
2024.
here.
It's about to be crazy.
Hey, appreciate y'all spending the time, man. Chatting with my dog.
Yeah.
Y'all see the videos in the back, man.
Yeah.
Anything that you had an interest, drop it in the comments below, brother. Thank you guys for stopping by. Thanks for sticking around for a long podcast, man. But I feel like it's great. I hope you guys learned something. And if you didn't, leave it in the comments below, man. And we're going to see you all in the next one,
We're going to see y'all soon,
on the next one, baby.
Love you, bro.
Love you too,
Good
brother.
job, bro. Damn. That was fire.
Fuck.